Hare Krishna devotees, welcome back once again to our lecture series on our most beloved Sri Vrindavan Dham. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we're continuing with our mini-series on Stimulation for Ecstatic Love, and this will be part 106. 106. And today we will continue to discuss the fourth quality of Krishna that distinguishes him from Lord Narayan, namely Rupa Madhuri, his extraordinary beauty. And it will be part 2 about Krishna's lips, his lips. So let us begin by reciting a poem written by one of our favorite poets, Surdas, wherein he mentions Krishna's lips while describing the beauty of his entire body so nicely. It's so beautiful. He writes, while crying on the lap of Mother Yashoda, Krishna says, "O Mother, Balaram laughs at me in front of all the gopis and calls me dark blue." He says, "Look, he's so dark." Mother Yashoda replied, "Oh, Kana, your darkness is a gift from the beautiful dark wives of the moon. Your eyes are the gift from the deep lakes of Carillion. Your brows are gifted by our eternal protector, Lord Mahadev. Your cheeks are a gift from the fruits of heaven, Svargaloka. Your forehead is a gift from the mother of fortune, her name is Saubhagya. Your lips are a gift from the god of the queen of nectar, Samudra Devata. Your ears are gifted to you by desire trees in the form of their leaves. Your chin is a gift from the chariot horses of the sun god. Surdas says, the beautiful face of Govinda is a gift from Mother Yashoda, who received the best of gifts, Upahara, from divine providence. Divine providence. Thank you, Surdas. In the Sri Shukashari Shtava 190, our Srila Krishnadas Kavi Raj Goswami, who wrote that book, writes how once a parrot praised Krishna's lips. The parrot said, "Krishna's lips are a treasure trove of all things desirable for the beautiful damsels of Braja, and give the nectar of life to Vrishabhana's daughter. May those lips adorned with their teeth marks shine forever in my heart." So in Sanskrit, lips are known as Oshta, O-S-T-H-A. And the meaning of Oshta is Ushate Dhyate Ushna Harena Iti, means they who get burnt by hot food. They who get burnt by hot food. And now the Sanskrit term for the lower lip is Adaram or Adaroshta. And the upper lip is called Uttar Oshta. And Sri Ballabhacharya begins his famous Madhurashtakam with the phrase Adaram Madhuram. Adaram Madhuram, meaning literally his lower lip is very sweet. His lower lip is very sweet. And Srimad Bhagavatam 10:21:5 describes that nectar flows from the lower lips of Krishna. Rantaran venur adara subhaya paranyan. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips. In fact, the gopis have you could say, a transcendental quarrel over that lower lip nectar. Because in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:21:9 we hear, Gopya kim achirat ayam kushalam shma venur, dhomadar adaram shudam api gopikanam. My dear gopis, what auspicious activities must the flute have performed to enjoy the nectar of Krishna's lips? Adara shudam means the lower lip, independently, and leave only a taste for us gopis, for whom that nectar is actually meant. The forefathers of the flute, the bamboo trees shed tears of pleasure. His mother, the river on whose bank the bamboo was born, feels jubilation, and therefore her blooming lotus flowers are standing like hair on her body. Now also when the gopis meet Krishna for the rasa dance, they desire his, specifically, lower lip nectar the most. That's described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:29-35, wherein it said, the gopis, "Dear Krishna, please pour the nectar of your lips," and in that verse it's described the lower lip, "upon the fire within our hearts, a fire you ignited with your smiling glances and the sweet song of your flute. If you do not, we will consign our bodies to the fire of separation from you, O friend, and thus, like yogis, attain the abode of your lotus feet, just by meditation." Also, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:31-8, "Adara siddhu napyaya yashyana." Our dear hero, please revive your maidservants with the nectar of your lips. Again, lower lip is mentioned, Adara. And as we mentioned last week, Krishna's lips are also often compared to the color of a bimba fruit, but especially the lower lip. It says focusing on the lower lip today. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:35-14 states, "Vivida gopachara neshu vidagho venu bhatya orada nija shiksha tava shuta shati yada dara bimbe tatar venur anayat shvara jati." When he takes his flute to his bimba red lips, ad dara bimbe, lower lip, and sends forth the tones of harmonic scale in variegated melodies, tones of the harmonic scale in variegated melodies, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and other chief demigods become confused upon hearing that sound. Krishna's lower lip nectar is beautifully described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya-lila 15:23, with the words, Adara Amrita. Adara Amrita. It's described in the verse. It's a long verse, so. Krishna's lips are so sweet when combined with the camphor of his gentle smile that they attract the minds of all women, forcing them to give up all other attractions. If the sweetness of Krishna's smile is unobtainable, great mental difficulties and lamentations result. That sweetness is the only wealth of the gopis of Vrindavan. Now, the acharyas say that Krishna's, how could you put it, lowered lip is also his ideal choice for expressing anger. It's kind of a poetic way of saying it. Krishna's lower lip is also his ideal choice for expressing anger. How so? Well, in Damodar Lila, when Krishna was a young boy, child, when Mother Yasoda left Krishna and went to save the boiling milk, Krishna showed his anger by biting his adara, his lower lip. He bit his adara, lower lip. That's described in that verse. The verse is, being very angry and biting his reddish lips with his teeth, and again in that verse it's mentioned, lower lip, Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. Then he entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter in a solitary place. So we know, if we become angry or whatever, we don't like that. We bite our lower lip. And that's described in Damodar Lila in the Bhagavatam. Commentating on this, the great devotee Harishuri makes creative use of the term adara, the lower lip, by composing a verse to explain why Krishna decided to bite his lower lip. It's a long verse, but that word for the lower lip is there. Krishna is speaking. So you have to listen carefully to this one. Harishuri is very deep. Krishna is speaking. If I make the result of my anger Dara Shrita, employed on Dara, the earth, then my vow of protecting her will fail. Moreover, Dhara is one of the mothers, and it is incorrect to vent one's anger on her, the earth. Thinking in this way, Lord Krishna was determined to give happiness to the earth and made his anger adara shrita, meaning employed on the lower lip. Instead of getting angry at Mother Earth, he bit his lower lip. He employed his anger on his lower lip. Now the Acharyas say that, in fact, the best use of Krishna's adhara, lower lip, is to drink the nectar from the lower lip of Sri Radha, Srimati Radharani. For example, we have to back everything up. Padyavali, verse number 2. Namo Nalina Netraya Veno Vajya Vinodine Radha Dhara Shuddhapana Saline Vana Maline. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Krishna, whose eyes are as beautiful as lotus petals, who delights in playing the flute, who drinks the nectar of Sri Radha's lips, and who wears a garland of forest flowers. Vanamali. Padyavali, Rupa Goswami. Now, it's poetically described by a scholar named Vyasa Das that Krishna's lower lip is Bhumandala. He's describing like this, poets. His lower lip is Bhumandala, the earthly planets, whereas his upper lip is Mahat Akasha, meaning literally the spiritual sky. And between them is his mouth, where the entire universe, planets, and stars are located. Thus, when Mother Yasoda asked Krishna to open his mouth to check whether Balaram and the other cowherd boys were telling the truth, that he had eaten the dust of Vrindavan, at that moment Krishna revealed all the planetary systems residing in his mouth to her, between the two lips. Because a mouth means two lips. Now, of course, we know that Krishna's mouth, consisting of two lips, is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, 11:28 and 29. We've been discussing Goswami literature here, but the lips are also mentioned, the two lips, the mouth, in Bhagavad Gita, wherein Arjuna says, as the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, as do all these great warriors, they enter into your blazing mouths. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths, as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. Now, I had to do a lot of research. In different places, Vaishnava acharyas compare Krishna's lotus lips to different objects, so we can get an idea what they're like. Like we mentioned earlier, the redness of the bimba fruit. Krishna's lips are like the redness of the bimba fruit. Interestingly enough, I found out the bimba fruit is described in the Mahabharata, the Puranas, and the Itihasas as a very delicate reddish color. But I read our acharyas add that such bimba fruit, as being described very much like Krishna's color of Krishna's lips, it's not seen or grown in the material world. The description they're using the bimba fruit, but the actual color of the bimba fruit, you can't see it in this world because these bimba fruits exist in the spiritual world. So we have to wait to get home to see the real color. They also describe Krishna's lips as tambulam, described as the red color that comes from someone who's chewing betel nut. You may have, if you've been in India, you know what I'm talking about. Many people chew betel nut, and it gives a red tinge to their lips. So they compare Krishna's lips to that color. Then Ravi Mandal, Krishna's mouth is also compared to the crimson red color of the dawning sun in the sky. I like that. What's Krishna's lips color like? Ravi Mandal. His mouth is compared to the crimson red color of the dawning sun in the sky. And finally, they're sometimes described as avarniya, A-V-A-R-N-I-Y-A. Avarniya, what does that mean? Avarniya. It means they describe his mouth as avarniya, which means indescribable. Something that which cannot be described by the human mind or tongue. These material bodies, these material minds or intelligence can't conceive it. Just like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said one time, I read in the Harmonist, that the actual blue of Krishna's transcendental form cannot be perceived in this world. It's a color that exists in the spiritual world. There's unlimited colors in the spiritual world. The red, the blues, the greens, the yellow. They don't look anything like the colors of this world. So again, we have to get home to see the real color of Krishna's transcendental body. Can't wait. Now the famous poet Paramananda Das, who we've quoted many times as well, he describes Krishna's lips in a very beautiful way in one of his poems. Listen to this. He writes, "Two filled cups are situated in the form of his, Krishna's lips, which the bee-like gopis are always curious to taste and store within their hearts. Those lips are the lives of the gopis, the resting place of Krishna's bamsi, his flute. The magic of Braja is poured and filled in the form of these two beautiful lips." Paramananda says, "O Saki, his lips make Cupid feel shame at all times." Just his lips make Cupid feel shame at all times. And again, our great poet Surdas, he writes in one of his poems how Radha, Srimati Radharani, once cursed Krishna's flute. And he's actually paraphrasing a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. She says, "O Saki Lalite, please kill this flute of Krishna, for she," the flute is referred to as a she in this verse, "for she is our biggest rival in the whole of Braja. She drinks the nectar of Krishna's lips, which is only our right to do so. She kills our rights and fills Braja with the rasa of hopes and desires. O Saki, the endless sweet ocean of Krishna's lips is wasted by the touch of this bamboo flute." Transcendental jealousy. Surdas says, "Thus Pyari, sweet Radha, revealed her heart's desire to Lalita." Now, not only Krishna's lips, but also his chin is part of his unlimited and unmatchable beauty. The Acharyas mention that it is the chin, Krishna's chin, is the playground of Cupid and his army of love and desire. That's some poetry for you. Krishna's chin is the playground of Cupid and his army of love and desire. Madhava Das, a devotee scholar who I came across, Brajbasi, writes that once in the dense forest of Kamudavan, that is a small forest, the gopis, after playing water sports, decorated Krishna like a lotus flower by binding his long hair in a top knot and adding many lotus buds in his tied-up hair. Then they bound lotus stems around his strong arms as armlets and covered his lower body with large, beautiful, soft lotus leaves. Then they rubbed sandalwood on a stone, and with that paste they painted forest leaf designs on his broad chest and around his navel. Then, while giggling and clapping, they painted his chin with a design resembling a group of bees. And the gopis painted the bees so beautifully and so realistically that a small group of real bees came to talk to the painted ones. A small group of real bees came to talk to the painted ones on Krishna's chin. And they started humming around Krishna's chin, which made him laugh, along with his cowherd friends, with the mooing of countless cows in the background. Wow. In your mind's eye, just that humming and the mooing of the cows around Krishna's chin. So Madhava Dasi concludes, Balihara, 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 Balihara. I sacrificed my everything. I sacrifice my everything to this beautiful scene in the Kumudavan forest. Hare Krishna. So, according to many devotee poets and acharyas, when Krishna's body is compared to the universe, then his chin is described as Parvachi Bhuka. Parvachi Bhuka. That which always stands tall and is considered as the grace of creation, in the universal form. Then they go on to say, this is nice, his chin is coolant and calm, like the Himalayan mountains, and strong like those mountains. It is the residence of the yogis who achieve that abode through their meditation. That chin lets many streams of rasa flow like streams from the mountains. Therefore his chin is considered to be the mountain or peak of his beauty. Every part of Krishna's body is transcendently extraordinary. The mountain peak, the mountain or peak of his beauty. Hare Krishna. So, I would like to conclude today with two very relevant verses to what we've been discussing today. The first is from Vrindavan Mahimamrita by our beloved Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. He writes, "May my heart become fixed on dark-complexioned Sri Krishna, who is the charming transcendental abode of the Vrindavan forest, as he places his lips to a glistening golden flute, studded with pearls and many colorful jewels, and decorated with bunches of flowers, as he eternally plays songs describing the glories of Srimati Radhika." And the second is from Srila Jiva Goswami's Gopal Champu, first wave, Tritiyam Puranam, verse 114. That's so sweet. Those who can see into the future may say these words. Krishna's face is like the king of graceful, smiling, blue lotus flowers. Krishna's eyes are like the king of graceful black bees, resting in the king of white lotus flowers. Krishna's nose is like the king of sesame flowers, splendid like the kings of dark monsoon clouds. Krishna's lips are like the king of lips, red like red sindoor, girija, roses, banduka flowers, or bimba berries. Krishna's ears are like the king of the splendor of blackness that rules over dark anjana ointments. Krishna's arms and hands are like the king of branches bearing blossoming twigs. Krishna's chest, marked with Srivatsa, is like the king of dark clouds embraced by an unmoving lightning flash. Srila Jiva Goswami, describing Krishna's form and gracefully mentioning Krishna's lips. That beautiful verse, Gopal Champu. Wow. Prabhu, that ends our description of Krishna's lips as a stimulus for ecstatic love. I hope you've enjoyed these couple of classes, and we'll move on to another item of Krishna's transcendental form next Friday. From Sridham Mayapur, here in India, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radharashama Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki. It's December now, so all glories to the devotees doing the Krishna's marathon, distributing books all over the world. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Jai Jai Sisi Radhe Shyam. All glories to Krishna's transcendental lips, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, the revealer,